Good morning, dear students. This is Grammar and English Communication Development course. This is the first lesson, though it is Unit 2. This is present simple first lesson. Here you can see in the part A, study this example situation. Here you can see in a picture, a man is lying on a bed. But this description shows Alex is a bus driver. So they are telling Alex is a bus driver, but he is not driving bus now. He is sleeping. He is on the bed. But how can you say that he is a bus driver? You can say in verb, he drives a bus. He drives a bus, not he drive a bus. He is a bus driver, because what they come to say, there are so many words using sentences using drive. You can say drive, driving, driven. These all are the words used to denote the action drive. But when you start with he in present simple, you should end with yes, that is he drives a bus. And the rule in the box you can see, drive in brackets yes, work works, do in bracket es does. So what is the difference between drive and drives? What is the difference between work and works? So that is what this box shows. When the subject is I or we, you, they, use the verb drive without s, work, do. When the subject is he, then you can use he drives, she drives, it drives. Okay, in this A, this is the rule you have to learn. Now you can see the rule B. We use present simple to talk about things in general. When we have to use, in this what they are going to tell, when you have to use, we use it to say that something happens all the time or repeatedly. When some action happens all the time, or when some action are happening repeatedly, or something is true in general, generally it is true. Then you can see the example. Nurses. What is the duty of nurses? Nurses. It is nurses, yes. Plural is there, nurses. When plural noun comes, the verb will be without s, look. Nurses look after patients in hospital. In case, instead of nurses, if it is nurse, N-U-R-S-E, nurse, then it would, verb would add a yes. Nurse looks after. That is the difference between this. I usually go away at weekends. Usually, this is usually so regularly. The earth goes round the sun. This is the rule under something true in general. This is always generally true, no? Earth always goes. So you can say the earth goes round the sun. The cafe opens at 7:30 morning regularly. So you can see the rule, the simple present. That is this rule. When to apply this rule? I, we, you, they, drive, work, do. He, she, it drives, works, does. You have to use the rule when what they are saying here happens all the time, repeatedly, or something true in general. And we say I work but he works, you go but it goes, they teach but my sister teaches, I have but he has, have and has, I, we, you, they have, he, she, it has. Then C rule. Between, what is the difference between do and does? Keep things clearly. When the sentence is question or negative sentence, the rule changes. You see, this rule when action is only answers. When it is answers, you can use I, we, you, they drive, he, she, it drives. Whereas when it comes as question, the first box shows question. It should always begin with either do or does. Either do or does. Keep in mind. I, we, you, they. Then we use work like this. How we can combine? You see, do I work? Do we work? Do you work? Do they work? That is the question format. Then he, she, it. When you talk about he, she, it, then the first word, not do, it begins with does. Does he work? Does she work? Does it work? Keep in mind here, even he, she, it comes, the verb is not yes. Work, drive, do, no, that comes as work, drive, do. Whereas here you have to compare. In the answers, he, she, it means drives. works, does. This is only for the answers. When you talk about some answers or statement sentences, we use as with the verb. Whereas when it comes as question, even we start with does he, but end with work only, not works. Then the next box, you can see this box. I, we, you, they, negative, don't work. I don't work. We don't work. Like that. He, she, it. When it he, she, it, you can say, he cannot say he don't work. You cannot say she don't come. You have to say he doesn't work. She doesn't work. It doesn't work. This is the rule for that. Then comes to the example. I come from Canada. In question, here it is, this is WH question. First it begins with where, no. So when question word starts, where, when, why, how, what, after that only this do or does will come. Next word do, you can see, no. Where do you come from? When it is he, then if it is he, instead of you, if it is he, and then it would have changed. Where does he come from? Here, where do you come from? In case instead of you, if you need to use he, then it would have changed. Where does he come from? I don't go away very often. I, when it is I, it is don't only. But in case, and the last word, last line you can see, rice. When it is rice is he, it is a name of a boy, rice. So like rice doesn't grow. This rule you take from he. He means doesn't grow only, no. He doesn't grow in cold climates. The same way rice doesn't grow in cold climates. Got it? So then come. In the following example, do is also a main verb. This also, in this way also you can come. Do you do? First to do is auxiliary verb, question word auxiliary verb. But second do is last to do, no. This is an action. Do you do? Are you doing some work, like that? Doesn't do. Do you do? Doesn't he do? What do you do? I work in a workshop. He is always so lazy, he doesn't do anything to help. Then last rule, D. We use present simple to say how often we do things. I get up at 8 o'clock every morning. How often? Okay. Whether only weekly once or daily twice, monthly 5 times, like that, no. That to know, that is so called how often. I get up at 8 o'clock every morning. How often do you go to the dentist? Julie doesn't drink tea very often. Robert usually goes away 2 or 3 times a year. Okay. Then comes E. You see, some words, I promise, I apologize, they are telling something about it. Sometimes we do things by saying something. For example, when you promise to do something, you can say I promise. When you suggest something, you can say I suggest. So I promise I won't be late. This you cannot use ing form. That's what they say. I am promising. You cannot say I am promising. You have to say I promise. What do you suggest? You cannot say what are you suggesting. So similar way, I apologize, I advise, I insist, I agree, I refuse. These all should be used in without ing form. Okay, all my dear students, this is all about the first lesson, present simple I do. So next another video, we will see the exercises for this. Using these rules, what you learn from this lesson, you have to learn. Next the task is that you have to work out an example, that is a worksheet I am going to give. That will be in the next video. Along with this I will be sending. Thank you very much.